All right. So one of the things that I like to talk about, if you haven't had an issue with it yet, and you're probably gonna, if you use credit cards, everything that we do these days is credit cards. I can't think of hardly any customers we have where we use cash anymore. I will do cash if I know somebody, but in most cases we don't. Most of our customers are booking online and they're using a credit card. The first instance I had was last May. Had a credit card come in from out of state, came in from Texas. They didn't speak English. I had to do a lot of texting and translating. Went and did a job for these people, put a whole 20-yard dumpster full of a driveway, full of concrete, 80,000 pounds more than likely we're getting ready to pull. We told them before we went down there, do not fill that with concrete, we can't handle it. We're not going to. Sure enough, they filled it with concrete. Next thing I know, I'm getting a call from the credit card company saying basically that was a stolen credit card from the Honda Credit Union in Bellefontaine, Ohio, and that job was no good. So I had to go down there, met with the guy who basically, who wasn't, I'm gonna guess, and I'm not trying to sound mean here, I don't think he was working legally. Had to meet with him. He ended up paying me in cash. We emptied that dumpster and we left. What I did then was contacted 2 other dumpster companies, one that I knew from our area that had gone down there, and told them this is a bad situation, get your dumpsters and get out of here. Which they were thankful. We're competitors, but it also helps out when you do that. So the red flag that I learned from that was out of state, number 1. So lo and behold, just 2 weeks ago, happens again. I get a phone call, guy needs a dumpster, down in Cincinnati again, as the other one was. He's out of state, he doesn't speak English, we have to text. We go do a dumpster, he says he needs another dumpster. I said, can I use the card on file, which we only keep the last 4, and I know the expiration. That's all I know about the credit cards on file. I think that's the case with most of you. He says, yeah, let's go ahead. Well, it doesn't go through, non-sufficient funds. Next thing he says is, we'll try this card. Well, what's the zip code associated with the zip card, with that card? Well, we went from Texas to California. The one from California didn't work. Next thing you know, he says, I got another card, I'll call you back. It's like 2 hours later, he calls me back. This one's in Idaho. I'm like, man, this isn't good. This isn't good. So we went down there. We picked one dumpster up. It was already a couple thousand pounds overweight. We set the next dumpster. I contacted the guy and said, hey, I'm texting and I'm calling him and saying, hey, look, you owe me $211 on overages. I want to make sure I'm paid for that because I just had that feeling that something was going to go wrong with it. Sure enough, there's no calling back. There's no text back. He was all over me before when he needed a dumpster. So I told my driver, basically, I just said, we're gonna go out there and anything that's in that dumpster, we're just leaving it. We're gonna leave it because what's gonna happen, I haven't seen it yet, but I know we will. That credit card's gonna come up and they're not gonna pay for any of the services. So I know some guys on here don't like that idea. You can't just leave dumpsters. You can't do that. He didn't contact me back. It's been over a week and nobody's even called me to say, why did you leave that material? So it tells me we did the right thing. One of the things that we do too is whenever, I mentioned it earlier, but like last summer, I got a phone call from some guys in Dayton who said, do not go to this job. They're gonna rip you off. They're gonna have you set your dumpsters. They're probably gonna have you pull 4 or 5 and then they won't pay you. And their credit cards are bad too. So I appreciated that coming from again, they're competitors, but they're also friends, they're also associates. We help each other out when we can. I would recommend that you, wherever you are, try to associate with somebody in the business and pick up something that you can. I know we're up in Columbus and we met up with a guy who's kind of a competitor, but we're out of dumpsters up there and he supplies us dumpsters so we don't have to tell people no, so we can keep growing our brand. Are we making a lot of money off those dumpsters? No. We have to subcontract him, but we're not telling people no, and we're getting our name out there and we're getting more reviews. So that's a benefit to us, even though it's not as profitable as we'd like it to be. But I would highly recommend that you try to form a bond or try to form at least a business association with other dumpster companies, so you pick up on what they're doing. You know, an example would be, is it cheaper in your area to go to the landfill, or is it cheaper to go to the transfer station? You know, which one do you feel like gives you a better benefit? Is it cheaper to run 20s versus 30s or versus 10s? Why would you buy a 10? I get calls all the time. Hey, do you have any 10-yard dumpsters? No, never bought a 10-yard dumpster. We thought about it for running concrete maybe. I don't understand the concept of running a 10-yard dumpster, but I want to talk to some guys, and maybe I will understand it. I mean, to me, a 10-yard dumpster is no different than a pickup truck. I'm hoping we get comments from people here saying, oh man, you gotta run 10-yarders because of this, and this. But yeah, I would, again, go back, I would have friends in the industry and have somebody look out for you, and you can look out for them too, and bounce some ideas off of. And also figure out just how competitive you are. Maybe you can get better insurance rates. Maybe you can find a place where there are cheaper tires, which has just happened to us. Both of those things happened to us. Yeah, there's lots of reasons why you'd want to associate with people in this industry. But those are some of the red flags, though. Credit cards from different states, different zip codes. Just beware of that. So, in this video, as always, we'd like for you to like and subscribe our YouTube channel here. We're going to keep trying to post more and relevant content. We're going to have more future videos. We got a couple of things that we're going to be announcing that's going forward, so we want to have more reason to stay in front of you, I guess. But comment down below on any of the comments that I've made, on this. I'm sure there's going to be some people who want to argue with me on some of the things that I'm saying and doing. And then also the other thing is you can like and join our Facebook group, Grow Your Own Roll-Off Dumpster Company, and there'll be a link in the description here to let you know how you can do that. Again, we feel like the benefit to watching us or listening to us is not just getting you into the business, but helping you to see where you need to be in the future, and answering any of those questions that can help you grow that business. So hopefully this was informative.